Nowhere to Turn. This is a guided meditation by Congruent Soul Coaching. You've been struggling, perhaps feeling physically unwell, feeling drained, out of sorts. These times are very exhausting. Same old, same old, same old. And you even realize that you have beliefs. And you get where they come from. You may even realize why you have them. And you know you want to change, to let it go, to be free of this feeling. And perhaps you've even done all this amazing work. And at times it feels incredible. But then you have these moments. In these moments, you may feel exhausted. You may have no will to do anything anymore. You may feel like there's nowhere to turn. Just going around in circles. And sometimes even with so many answers, you still feel like this. It's frustrating. You don't get it. And as you sit here in this way, if you bring your awareness to your body, perhaps your body's uncomfortable. Perhaps one of those body cues is coming into your awareness. And you're familiar with this feeling. You've felt it before. Sitting here with this feeling, just observing, open to a message, guidance, anything, some direction. And as you sit here feeling this way, the thought enters, and a realization that at moments like this, moments when you feel like there's nowhere to turn, moments when you're frustrated and you have no answers, moments when you feel like just giving up, in these moments, you need to surrender, to completely let go. In these moments, there's nothing else that you can understand, nothing else that you can do. Just hand it over. Give it over. Give it over to God, the Creator. Give it over to something greater than you. You've done all that you can do. And now the only thing left for you to do is to surrender, to give it over. Let it go. And at this point, it is actually not so hard to do because you are feeling so exhausted. So exhausted that to even lift your arms to hand over the imaginary box of worries is too much to do. Or is it that it's different this time? Perhaps what you're handing over is not the worries, but the control. It is a surrendering of the need to control. It's a releasing of even more than your patterns, habits. It's as though it's a releasing of everything. You are being invited to sit down at a table. Imagine a table for two. You sitting at one side of the table, and across from you, in the chair, at your table for two, is God. Just God and you, sitting at a small table for two. And the image, in some ways, is funny, but at the same time brings a strong emotion to your chest, as God shows you that you have been arm wrestling with God. And sometimes He lets you win. Just like a loving parent would let their child win. Of course, God looks much stronger and bigger. Not in a threatening way, but in yet still a commanding way. And you both drop your hands down to the table, palms flat, your left hand in front of God's left hand, and your right hand in front of God's right hand, and the tips of your fingers just touching. Looking at one another. It is as though God says to you, "What now?" Are you done arm wrestling? For a moment you just sit, a little fidgety, not knowing what else to do. If you weren't arm wrestling, what else would you do? What would you do with your hands? And so you sit back for a moment, enjoy, relax, just be. In theory, all such wonderful ideas. And yet, you're not quite sure that you can be that way. So you try, you kick up your feet, you lean back in your chair, your hands clasped behind your head. With God sitting there across the table from you. It is as though God is smiling back at you. That's it. So simple. And so you bring your chair back into the upright position. As you lean forward with your right elbow on the table, and you inquisitively ask, "Are you sure? I can just be this way all the time?" And it is as though God replies, "You do your part. You understand. You're aware. You acknowledge who you are in the moment. And you continue to be the best that you can be. Use all of your God-given talents for your experience in this world. And then, yes, then I ask of you to sit back, pick up your feet, and just be. Just be and look around you. Look around you and see so much beauty. Look around you and see me. I am everything you breathe. You look at a flower, you breathe. You look at a tree, you breathe. You drive your car, you breathe. You watch TV, you breathe. You argue with your spouse or another, and you breathe. You play with your dog or your child, and you breathe. You challenge yourself to do something physical, and you breathe. You accept a reward, and you breathe. You cry, and you breathe. I am with you. I am you. I am in every breath you take. Now your awareness turns to the top of your head. And at the same time, perhaps to an area in your body. And you are reminded of the fact that you are aware, but you haven't been allowing yourself to receive. Which in essence means you haven't been allowing yourself to breathe. The spot in your body is where the movement of the breath from your crown to your feet is being blocked. It's the spot that has been blocking the flow. And so you just sit there, aware of your crown on the top of your head, and that spot in the body that blocks the flow. And you just anticipate where this will take you. Bring your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, the third eye, and to your breath. Imagine the colors of dark blue and indigo swirling. The image of God at the table transforms into a huge bird that stands perched in front of you. And on the one hand, it feels like it should be a dove, but your eyes see an eagle. And so sit with the image of you at the table with an eagle with expanded wings in front of you. Just breathing. Watching. And you hear the words, and he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hands. And perhaps you've heard this message before, but this time is different. This time it is as though it is God himself giving you this message. This brings you a sense of awe, honor, comfort. Reassurance that God really is there, and God really is holding your hand, holding you in the palm of his hand. There really isn't anything to be fearful of or worried about. There is really nothing for you to do. Just breathe. Experience whatever it is that you are experiencing with a breath of confidence, understanding, and with the knowing that you are safe, protected, supported. Know that you are creating each moment and trust in both yourself and in the world, allowing yourself to love. To love everything about the world. Knowing on some level God is watching over you and working His magic. And the only thing that separates you from this is your own willingness to allow yourself to rest in the palm of His hand, to feel it. It is your choice to arm wrestle or to sit there in His hand. And there is no judgment if you choose to arm wrestle. It's just you going through your experience as God is there gently with you. See yourself allowing yourself to rest in His wing, realizing that you're good enough to be there. Realizing there is nothing that can keep you from there other than your own need to wrestle. You are being reminded to take time to come, relax here in this way. Not only does it feel so wonderful, but you can have a conversation. You can have time to just reflect in an energy that feels so wonderful, so inspiring, so balanced. And it puts all things into perspective. Perhaps a perspective you never considered. So just allow yourself to be here in this zone and see yourself limitless, expansive. and you know that the possibilities are limitless. And yet, at this moment, no possibility is even necessary. You just are. Bring your awareness to your crown at the top of your head and see the image of the eagle and yourself embracing, allowing yourself to be one with God. And you see yourself kicking over the table because you no longer need the table to wrestle. You no longer need to sit across from God. You are here in God's embrace. Sit feeling the energy. And perhaps you begin to feel a little uncertain of what will happen when you let go of the embrace and you have to come back to the reality of your world. And so you stand in front of the image of the eagle, looking up as it is looking down. And you realize that you are made in a way that you can always feel one. There's nothing in particular that makes this so. It is everything. The blood that moves through your body, your bones, your breath. Everything about you is what makes you one. And God hands you a feather from His wing and places it behind your left ear as a physical reminder and you are reminded of all of the physical reminders that are around you, that are connected to your breath. The flowers, the trees, the sky, insects, worms, grass, a fallen leaf, friends, co-workers, TV stars, musicians, things on the news, everything. The color yellow reminds you that you need to trust. Trust that you are the best that you can be. That you are living in a way that you do breathe in God's love and energy every moment. You have to trust that you are doing what you need to do. That what is happening around you is what needs to be happening. And purple merges with the yellow as this blending of purple and yellow reminds you to trust God, to trust God's presence, so that you can allow yourself to be in His wing. Trust that you are co-creating with God in a way that is perfect, exactly as it needs to be. Together, your relationship grows, and you more fully realize that you are always in His embrace. You can trust you, and you can trust that goes on around you, because there is really only one. Focus now on the beautiful purple. See an image of you walking with God on your left and His right wing on your back. You become aware of something different about the energy, something that you didn't notice until now that it is gone. It is as though a high-pitched noise or a high vibration that you were not aware of until now that it's gone. And it's symbolic that even though now God is not in your awareness fully. His wing is still on your back. Now fully aware of his wing resting on your back. He is always with you. You now have the image you can always come back to remind yourself that you can completely trust and allow yourself to feel embraced. For God's got your back. And He will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of His hand. God's got your back. So just sit with the energy and allow yourself to feel that energy. Maybe you've never felt this before. Just be with it. Be patient with your physical body, as it may need time to adjust to this energy. Give it time to allow itself to know that God has its back. It's all good.